piece of paper I had to give them. That's just another piece of paper I'd have to give
Oh,
them.
no, it stays.
Okay. Good morning. Oh, is it evening? It's a Tuesday?
Had everybody wait on it.
I forgot.
Hey Glenn, the only chair available is over there by you.
Yeah, come over here. That's good.
Where you want me?
Yeah, she
Over
can
there.
Okay.
go around this way. That's good.
It's easier, probably.
Right here.
That's good.
Good spot for you.
Okay, we ready, Vonda?
Yes.
All right.
Give me 1 second.
One second.
Here.
One more set of paper. Yes, that's yours.
Okay, we'll call the November 9th Three Rivers State Property Owners Association Board meeting to order. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It looks like we've got almost a full board. We've got a couple of members that are out for excused reasons, it looks like. So I would like to say, too, that I appreciate the demeanor in the last meeting. I think that the meeting that we had in October was probably one of the best. We seemed to get a lot of business taken care of, and we were able to move forward with a good consensus of ideas and where we're going to be headed for the next year. So with that being said, we will ask if you would all stand, and Vicki M. will give the invitation.
Father God, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for all your blessings, and we just ask that you would be with those that are sick, and we pray that you would provide needs where it's needed in our community, and we pray that tonight, Father, that everything we say and everything we do will be pleasing in your sight, that we will have wisdom and will make good decisions for our community. Thank you, Father God, for all your blessings. In Jesus' name, amen.
We'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now move on to roll call, and Carol, if you could give us a roll call, please.
Terry Hester.
Here.
Nikki Elsa. Here.
Cindy M.
Here.
Glenn Hunter.
Here.
Tom Trammell.
Here.
Sammy King.
There.
Sassy Johnson.
Here.
Joe Miller.
Here.
John Bryant.
Here.
Ron Ackerman.
Here.
Charlie Thompson, excused. Bill Ray, excused. Tommy Matthews.
Here.
Charlotte Arnett.
Here.
Lisa Kirby. Lisa Kirby. Rick Hall.
Here.
And Mary Ray. Here.
Okay, so we have two that we would be excusing, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's Phil Ray and Charlie Thompson, so, actually, ask the board, what's your pleasure for excusing these two? Phil Ray. A motion to, excuse Phil Ray and Charlie Thompson. Any discussion? We have a second already, so discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. So we'll move on to approve the agenda. We'll give a copy of the agenda. Pleasure, board.
Move to approve the agenda.
Motion by Mr. Trammell,
Second.
second by Charlie Arnett. Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes. We will actually move now to September minutes. Do you have a copy of the September minutes that were not actually rendered for the last meeting? So,
I emailed those to everybody, and then we passed some out tonight. Does anybody have any questions on the September minutes? Yes, ma'am?
Yes, I have a question. When did you mail this out?
That was yesterday.
The September minutes, they were emailed yesterday. but you have a copy here tonight.
I didn't get the email.
You didn't get the email?
I got the one today, but I did not get the others.
Now, the one today, I just took the one from yesterday and forwarded it again and added the October minutes to it, so the original September one was sent yesterday.
So I might suggest that, we verify your email address with Vicky going
But she
forward.
said she got the
I
one
got the
today.
one
You
today.
did,
Okay.
Yeah,
I got
so
the
I just took the
October
same
one.
one and forwarded it again, so. Yeah,
So it should be two attachments in today's.
yeah.
We'll give you a couple of minutes or a minute, maybe a second here.
I'll abstain because I can't read that quick.
That's quite all right.
Anybody have any questions on the minutes?
I move we accept them as written.
We have a motion by Charlie Arnett to accept the minutes, second by John Bryant. Discussion on approving the September minutes. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
I have a question.
Aye. Any opposed? And do you abstain?
I abstain, but I also have a question. I'm not recorded here as being out or excused on the September one. Or no, it's the October one, I'm sorry.
So you good?
You're good on September then, or you're
Okay.
abstaining?
I was here in September, but I was not here in October.
Right, we're doing September right now, so, but you were here for that meeting.
I was here in September, but I was not in October. That's what I'm saying.
We're not to October yet.
So there, I did leave out the approval of the October minutes on the agenda, but you all have a copy of the October minutes, so I would, ask if you excuse that, typo, and, ask you to, look at the October minutes and, read through those carefully. And I'd entertain a motion when you're comfortable with that.
Did the motion for the September one?
They did pass. Sorry. We did have one abstain, I believe.
Yes.
What do you think, John?
Sir,
How's it go?
The minutes, are you reading October's minutes?
no, I've done it.
He's already read them.
Okay.
October minutes is good to me. I'm ready to September and
I'm good
October.
laugh, it's okay, I'm sorry.
I'm all aboard, boss.
Okay.
October minutes is good.
Do we have a motion to approve the October minutes?
Yes, sir.
Motion by John Bryant. Do we have a second? John Trammell. Is there any discussion on the minutes?
I'd like the correction to be excused from that meeting.
Okay. So we're in discussion, and we have a board member who wants to be, noted that she's excused from the October meeting. Is that in the minutes? Is she excused?
No, we hadn't heard from her, so we didn't say
did.
yay or nay.
You didn't excuse her, okay.
The
So,
thing was, I'm on the roll call. Well, as being present.
No, it says all members present except for.
Okay, I see that.
So you were not here, but we had not heard from you, so we didn't know.
I was.
okay, so we will move on. We have a motion and a
Totally
second.
under-
So, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. We will move on now to the secretary's report.
That would be me. I have nothing to report.
We
This
know
is my-
you're new.
This is my first meeting to record, so thank you, Vicki, for taking care of last week.
There's nothing wrong with not having anything to report.
Sometimes
You've
that's
had
a
enough
good
to do.
thing.
No news is good news at this point.
Okay, so we'll move on then to the treasurer's report.
Okay, we handed out, some numbers earlier. Okay, ending balance, of course, at the TD Bank, because it's closed, is zero. The Drummond checking account is $54,632.40. Drummond, the reserve savings account is $50,003.49. And then the checking account that has our electronic deposits for membership, the balance is $3,977.02, making a total of $108,612.91.
Are you going to be emailing that out to us? So we have these.
No, we handed out at the meeting.
I would like to have the report mailed out, please.
Mailed out or emailed?
Emailed out.
Okay. Then you can send this to me on email and I'll forward it out to the board. Okay.
And Vicki, what was the starting balance in that electronic account?
Starting balance was $1,200.
So you seem to be having pretty good activity.
We've received probably a dozen payments, so
Okay.
Question.
I will,
Go ahead. So as of now, we have closed out all accounts at TD. So do we have one account
Yes.
still that there's just no balance?
yeah, it just keeps producing a statement for some reason that shows zero, so I just report it.
Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right.
the account's completely closed.
The bank doesn't want to lose that account till after the first.
Oh, is that what it is? Probably.
We're
Probably
hoping
so.
you'll come back.
Yeah. We're in hopes.
and I do apologize for the P and L not being ready for tonight, but I did not have the bank statement until today. Action to make sure that everything in my P and L was exactly accurate and posted in the proper place. So that will be emailed out the next day or two.
Okay, Vicki?
Move to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, this one's on me. We did have a budget meeting of about 6 or 7 of the board members 3 weeks ago, right after the other board meeting. So what we did is, this that you see in front of you is something on the floor was with. I took every one of the accounts by accounting purposes, and when we determined that there should be a number in that column, that's what you're reading when it says the 2022 budget. So that's in the green column. And as you kind of flip through, you'll see where we kind of assign dollar values. 90% of those were probably the very same. Yes. There should be one right there.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, these were numbers that we as a budget committee, we worked on it for over 2 hours, going through line by line, determining where we needed to add some money, and where we needed to just take away some money because we didn't actually use it all for this past year. It looks very nice and healthy, if you want to call it that way, because the budget, we kind of figured that your actual monies that are going to go out for just general operating expenses like we've done this past year, we're right at $100,000 in expenses paid out. And we plan to take in probably right at $200,000 by adding some income items that we're going to be using. And the reason we're looking at a bigger budget is because y'all have already presented in several places where we're doing some actual maintenance and we're doing some rebuilds, like for the A-frame. Fix this up and make this actually an event venue. So if this becomes an event venue, then you can actually rent it out and generate some income from it. Going after more people that are in the park that already are owners of property but may not be members of Tree Code, kind of encouraging them to become members of Tree Code. So you'll see in the budget, this is not to be voted on tonight, this is just a preliminary, so y'all can kind of look it over, see where things are going. It also adds in a hefty $20,000 to cover the cost of all these cameras and the security that everybody on board is already on board with actually doing. We just need to put it in the budget to be able to start spending that money to do that. There were also a couple of places, if you look probably as the next to last page, or the last page actually, so to give you a better picture. This is where we added the $25,000 that's going to be allocated towards your park ranger, which is going to help with your physical security. So that money, all those monies have to come from somewhere. So we have to create a budget to start out, to give us a starting point. And then as we start raising money or as we increase things, then that's where it comes from.
Primarily the dues.
Yes, out of the dues. But did put in a couple of places where we could actually do fundraisers to help offset some of those expenses. And of course, you've got your fallback money, the $50,000 that's in the account. You use it, you spend it, you replace it. That's just your emergency fund.
So our December the 8th meeting, which will be on a Wednesday, I guess that's right, we would approve the final budget for the coming year.
Yes.
So, board members, you have the opportunity to take and review this. You can make phone calls to Carol,
Carol,
or send them some emails or text messages of what you see. They'll gather that information, get it together, and then we can discuss it at the December meeting.
right.
What's the date of that again?
It's the second Tuesday, but
That's the
that's
seventh.
probably, it's the 7th, not
It's the
the 8th.
7th.
So, Pearl Harbor Day. So do you have anything else to add? Carol, appreciate the job and the time you're taking to put this together.
Absolutely. I think we should say this to see, maybe at our next members, how we do it.
Sure. Well, we can certainly, we can discuss that in the April fish fry.
Yeah.
So, that will be Jerry's job. Okay. Any, yes,
Do we have any expenditures in October that you want to approve?
Yeah, the expenditures in October on that green sheet, if you want to look at those expenditures, they're in your typical, a lot of their power bill. I don't think we had, but.
yeah, he's,
Yeah, I think we did, yeah, we talked about, yes, we talked about that last time, to make sure that the expenditure.
So as you can see from this form, our expenditures last month were $7,079.85, and then we had $618 in automatic drafts.
Which is your power and your internet and
Right.
those kind of things. The major expenditure that you may want to be aware of, that I think was one of your projects, was the when we did the prep of the slab and the walkways, I think most of you have seen those next door where they did that, and then you had, pretty nice,
Yeah, we did, the fill for the two parts.
Yeah.
The what?
The two parts, the midpoint part with the fill and having the line roll.
That was for $2,600. The rest of them were just things that you had already been doing, typical general fund type things. Nothing out of the ordinary except for that one. Checks for we had another newsletter go out.
we have a question, but Sandy, yes.
Did you give
Yes. Not in the concrete, no.
later?
Yes. Maybe
They
they'll,
haven't said we want.
maybe they'll forget about it then.
They've said.
Donation. It's on them.
Send the gift cards, okay?
Keep your mouth shut.
So, I guess in order, a motion would be in order
Yes.
to approve the expenses for October. You know, the only thing is that we don't really have a detail on that. So that's, is that problematic, Mr. Parliamentarian? So, we.
Yeah, you would just be motivating motion.
That's correct. So what we'll do is
So you couldn't approve just the amount of the expenditures that are already been handed out?
No,
You want
I don't believe that would be a
items?
proper count.
correct. So I'm gonna
Couple
ask
of
them.
days you'll have that.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll have to put that on December and approve the expenses in October and November, December meeting. That'd be appropriate. So that's what we'll do. All right, so we'll move on. Is there anything else that you have in the treasurer's report?
Can we have a total number of how many people we have?
Yeah, we can do that. You want that now, currently?
I can't see it. It's not yet.
Okay, we'll let the communications committee do that. So is there anything else we need to take on here from the treasurer's report?
Well, I think we need to approve the actual treasurer's report on the balances and stuff that we're handing out. That's what we normally do.
As to what you presented.
Yeah.
Well, we can approve the treasurer's report, yes, and then we'll have a supplement in December.
Right.
Okay, so, motion to approve treasurer's report.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Yes, opposed.
Okay, so motion passes. We'll move on now to the president's report. Terry?
Okay. We got Hayter Park fixed for the hole that was over there underneath the big pavilion.
Yes.
The guy done a very good job, I think. It was a pretty good price, don't you think, Vicki? And, I need to have the porta potties moved back to the parks.
Okay.
And I'm gonna call Clonis tomorrow.
Okay, hold
And
on.
we've had complaints from people, John's one of them, that they're not cleaning them like they're supposed to be, so I'm gonna talk to them about that. And, the guard shack at Bay Ramp is about through. We checked it out today, me and Vonda. And we have a member that's wanting to, I don't know how we would go about doing this, but she's wanting us to look into making it where people can't have to leave 40% of their property wooded instead of clearing the whole lot off. Do you have any way of doing that?
Our call.
That was what I said.
That's not our call, that's the county's call.
That's what I said.
Uh,
So she's just asking to make sure that what I
okay,
said.
that's not our call, that's the county's call.
Is that more code enforcement?
That's the county, yes ma'am, that's the county's call.
I mean, I don't.
I don't know if there's a countywide tree ordinance on percent. I know in the city, there is a percentage that has to be left wooded. Don't think that's, I don't know if the county has that, in their code.
No, she was saying she thought the tree pro should enforce that, but I don't want tree pro to tell me I can't cut a tree down that's on my property.
You know, it is bad when you see it all cut down, but I don't know.
No, but I
This
mean,
board would need
it's
to
your property.
determine what direction you want to try to tackle this. It'd be very, very.
They've been
I
trying
think
to
it would
do
be,
it.
that's a county
They
issue.
want, they don't want to enforce it. All they had for money was already about it, the county won't enforce it. And he knows what I'm talking about.
I thought it was a deed restriction.
Is it in the deed? I mean, is it in the covenants and restrictions?
Yeah, it was not in your deed
Didn't say a word in the
Take
deed.
care of that.
And then you'd have to have everybody vote on it if you
It
did.
did not address
But
it.
that's the problem.
Didn't address it.
A lawsuit coming.
So I didn't think it was there. Yes, Mr. Trammell?
Mr. Chairman, even if we can't enforce it, I would like to see us at least put forth an effort to declare it a tree sanctuary community. And so that you can encourage people, not to cut down any more trees than absolutely necessary, and certainly not the canyon. But there are people who say, hey, we're a tree sanctuary, we ask that you abide by our recommendation, but then enforce it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other, Terry, you brought it up, so you want to discuss this any further?
Well, I'd like maybe get a committee on it or something, check it out at least.
I have a comment with our trying to reduce our impact on the environment, and they're trying to reduce the output. The tree is the one thing that is going to keep the oxygen. Therefore, I think that we should be proactive in that area, that we should try and maintain some of our beautiful aesthetics that are here and are 100 years old without stripping the entire lot to make it like a bowl. That's my story.
I don't doubt that every person in this room wants the trees, so they have to have a certain level, a certain degree, but I don't see how we can possibly
Dictate.
dictate that. If we wanted to try and create something through our covenants and restrictions, I guarantee you that you're gonna find opposition to that. But I'm all for it, and I think that we all are. I don't know what the solution is. I have no idea. We need to have some direction. You wanna go after, pursue this, or is there any ones in the audience that have any experience with that?
I think we can make a suggestion in the newsletter, maybe that's a good idea, that, members feel like they want the woods to be kept, but like you're saying, I think it'd be hard for us to change, I don't think we're gonna be able to change that, control people's properties that far.
Was it 2/3?
Covenants, restrictions,
2/3 membership?
Mr. Parliamentarian, to put something in, to change these and restrictions, covenants, the restrictions, what would you have to have, to get that done? What would have your vote have to be? Yes, you've read it all.
I don't know, and I think it would have to be the property owner would have to approve it, just like any other FOA would have to. Deed and restriction.
Right, is it?
Don't have any expertise, don't have any experience with that. I can't advise you where to go.
So it might not be a bad idea, then we can just go out, we can seek someone who's got experience in property management, covenants, restrictions. Let them read ours, yes.
These trees are dangerous. I don't know who likes to walk down the road when the wind's blowing and the hurricanes are coming. It's darn scary. And you're telling people that branches and crap down the house, we don't want you to cut that down. You're sitting there, fall on you.
I don't think
It's
anybody,
just like,
yeah, that's
I'm
all
all
right,
for
Mary.
the aesthetics and everything, but let's get real here. about
Yeah, we're not gonna,
practicality.
we're not gonna get into the pros and cons with that, because, that's gonna be an opposite, you're gonna have both sides, so that's what we have to deal with, yes.
If we brought it up in front of the board, in front of the homeowners, all of them, how much of a percentage do you have for them to approve?
Let me explain something about that. Once you do that, you've got 20 layers of how you're gonna regulate things.
And enforce it.
And so that's,
I know that, but I was.
and I don't have a problem with that. I don't cut trees, I plant trees. My wife's mad as hell at me because you got them everywhere. I just don't like to cut them. And then they bust it off, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know the answer to that. I'm just gonna tell you, I don't think we can debate this tonight and get a solution for this. It may be, first of all, the best thing to do is plow through and find out what it does take to get something changed, if you want to get it changed. And then you gotta remember, what do you want it to change to? What effect, what level, what sets the standard for that? I know that in city governments, and Tommy Matthews, you've probably been involved in this, pulling permits in municipal areas. There's a certain amount of trees and stumpage, or I don't know the term, but that you have to leave or put back, if I'm not mistaken, in a lot of areas.
Residential, I don't think. That's more like that,
Unless you're engaged.
What do you think about
The
that?
city of St.
Tom,
Petersburg
what do you think about
has a
wetlands?
tree
What do you think
ordinance
about
that
you?
if you take down.
Okay, we're gonna finish this conversation up, and so what we'll do is we'll first find out what it takes, going forward, if it's even something that you could do, and if you could do what it would take to do that, and then we'll explore the next steps. If that's the
And how
case.
do you enforce it?
Pardon me?
And
How you could even enforce it, and what plan would you want to get approved, and remember, you're gonna be working with, an awful lot of property owners to get that done.
Two counties involved.
Correct.
Maybe picture a lot before and after.
Okay. And that's a lot of work.
Well, that's good, everybody here already has their trees done, so now we want to.
So let's move forward, then, do you have anything else, Terry?
Yeah, we're gonna have a Christmas party for the kids and adults, December the 4th, we'll start around 2:00. We're asking for donations, we want people to fix up their golf carts and stuff like that. We want little kids make ornaments and decorate the tree out here. and put ornaments on it, and have like a tree lighting, and after the hayride and everybody goes around the blocks and stuff, we're gonna come back and have hot chocolate and all. We're gonna post it on the official chat tomorrow, what we're gonna be doing.
Okay, so
2 o'clock until dark time, we come back and we'll have like hot cocoa too.
so that's gonna be on December 4th, and
Yeah.
you're gonna start it at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, where
So-
kids can start making ornaments and stuff.
So y'all will have an activity in the park with the kids, decorating the tree and making ornaments and so forth.
Yeah,
And then, of course, it's getting dark pretty early now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So be dark about 3 o'clock then.
yeah,
So,
about 5:30, maybe dark.
so
So
then you would be planning that, so you're gonna coordinate the type of, rides that you'll have,
Yeah, we're gonna let everybody fix up their golf cart. We're gonna do like a first, second, third place.
okay?
Light on the deck
Yeah.
round.
So how about the kids? Are the kids gonna be part of the golf carts?
Yeah, we're gonna have them on a hayride.
None of them are gonna be spinning donuts and.
No.
So we thought we just do a circle, just take out here, head on down, go past Mill Point, back by the boat ramp, on up to Utah, back around. Just a big circle.
Yeah.
So you'll do that at dark, that's about 5:30. So
Yeah.
what time do you think you'll plan to finish up?
Hopefully around 6:30.
6:30 or 7, okay. All right, any
Can
questions?
anybody that's decorated, have emailed the board and they would have their place open so that the young people can see the decorations that are out?
Yeah, if they're in the league that we go through.
Because I know that, they've already got decorations out and, Alex and Rubens. And it would be nice to be able to have it on the internet so that we can, say, stop by the house.
Yeah, we can put that in there, but if y'all waiting on the route that we're taking of the night of the party, they won't see them that night. We could post it on the official chat where the decorations are at, where the kids go see.
Okay, so you have a plan? You're good with your plan?
We're gonna have Santa
Oh, yeah, we're
Claus.
gonna be giving out Christmas gifts too.
Santa Claus is actually
For the
coming?
kids,
Santa
yeah.
Claus is gonna be there, and another thing we'll put out is for anybody that does have small children, like the age of the child, just a little information. I mean, I know we'll probably have some at the last minute show up, but, so we kind of have plenty of gifts for all the kids, so.
Okay. That'd be great. Anything else you wanna add to the December before Christmas, or do you
No,
have,
that's
you have any
it.
other news?
No, that's it.
All right, well, thank you, Terry, appreciate all these minutes y'all are putting together. So we'll move on now to the maintenance, report. John?
I don't have anything right now. The girls have been taking care of it. I appreciate it.
Okay. You
You're
wanna,
doing a good job
or
on it.
you wanna report on what they've been able to do for you?
Well, actually, I took care of the parks, the, lime rock and all. We kinda talked about the millings and all, but, being it's got the oil base in it, we more or less gotta put the lime rock down partially in the milling. But, I tell you, old boy did a heck of a job packing that
Yeah.
stuff down this time. When he went down to the, point down there and he actually drug it back. Everything that was, needed to be drugged back and stretched out. And he put the lime rock down, quite a bit of lime rock on Point Park. And I don't know how many loads he put down there at Midpoint, but it was good. Buffalo was very
Yeah,
good.
it appears that he packed it pretty tight and hard,
Yes, he
so
did.
that
Yes, he did.
almost like rock.
I actually bought 4 pieces of equipment out there, so he bought a semi with 2 pieces of equipment and a couple dump trucks out here, so he said he was really loud. He was steady rolling that equipment.
Okay, so is there anything else you need to report? I'm gonna get to you just a second, Tommy, you sign this. Oh, okay, go ahead, Tommy, sorry.
Well, I just wanted to ask John if we could, people that do the mowing and stuff, if we could tack on to their responsibility to start, mowing along the village and the fishing park. Just awfully bad.
Yeah, it has grown up pretty bad. It probably needs to be weed eated, or whatever you run, one of those little tools.
Yeah, however, what kind of tool they want to use to clean that up. Ought to be one time right now during the winter, but, summertime, spring.
You talking about the fishing park over where we put the rail up?
Yeah, it's actually grown up under the rail there. That would be a good idea.
Okay.
We've got 2 cans that, I guess for garbage, and, I don't know whose responsibility to pick it up.
Where is that at? Oh, Fishing Park.
That would be the, people who put the garbage in, I guess. I'm not aware, I don't know. I guess the garbage man will pick that up, that's probably not.
We have to put it out there by the road.
But it's not, what you're saying is that it's not, Tommy, it's not being brought to the road, is that right?
It's not a road,
And they're not picking it up?
but it's not a traditional garbage can, it's
Okay.
a barrel.
Okay, now they will not pick a barrel up. No, no.
So
I've already thrown a couple in blue
Okay,
barrels
so we
away.
probably need to contact Waste Pro, that's who's doing it, and see what they need there to pick up the garbage.
Maybe we can
So we'll make a note of that.
I'll see what I can do about that.
Okay. All right, yes, ma'am.
I would like to suggest to John to see if we can't get someone to bring the wooden tables under cover. They're really going downhill quickly because they're out in the open. I had my granddaughters bring in the short tables, but they could not lift the large tables.
Every time I put it back underneath it, somebody puts
I
it back.
realize that's a lot of maintenance, John.
I'm not never saying every time I move them back underneath.
Okay, let's just come through the chair. Let's come through the chair if you will, please.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're doing fine.
I do want to share.
Sure,
And I
Karen.
also,
Just
In
one
the
moment.
in
Go
the
ahead,
past
Karen.
meetings that you did, I think it was probably the meeting that you did, is they did propose that we would change out those tables to something that's not wood, so it would be more flexible and easier to keep and maintain. And that is part of the new budget, is to replace the wooden tables with either the metal mesh tables or the fiberglass or some other kind of product was composite, yeah. But we did have that discussion, and that is part of the new budget for next year, is to replace those, so maybe by next summer, when they are really full of
Okay. Yes, John?
it should be part of the reservation when you are reserving or using a pavilion and you remove things, it should be part that we put them back.
Hey, good luck.
Of course,
Well, if somebody's renting them, you know who rents them.
I was gonna suggest that, maybe in the future, when I first moved here and I wanted to use the clubhouse, I wrote a check and it reserved it. And then if I had left it in the condition that I found it, I got my check back. Maybe that's a good thing to do with the large and the small pavilion. That way, if somebody leaves it in a mess or they don't put the tables back, we keep their check because we have to ask people to go do the work.
So that is another job that somebody's
Right.
gonna have to coordinate and be available for, so, who's actually scheduling, you are, Brian? Who's
Terry and I.
scheduling? You and Terry. Is that something that y'all would, wanna consider?
Yeah, Terry.
The treasurer
I'm
can
not
hold the
proposing
check.
putting any work on any of you folks that
Put it
volunteer.
in the job description.
For the new park, man, not me.
I also have one more suggestion.
Let
We
me see,
need to put,
Jesse had his hand up
Yeah,
first,
you're
so
right,
yeah,
new
just,
park, man, not this one.
So I was just gonna say, nobody got with me after the last 2 meetings, I said that I would replace those boards over at Bridge Park. If somebody would get with me, I'll totally make that look pretty and get it all fixed up. Like I said, if we give them 1 gallon of paint, we'd probably do all the paint work and a couple boards. It wouldn't cost much at all,
I already talked to Brand about taking care of that.
so you already have that taken care of?
Good.
Okay.
Somebody could give me the size of the board.
All right, apparently they got that taken care of.
oh,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
we need our porta potties put back into Camping Park and to Point Park. We don't have toilets in either
Yeah,
one.
that was just discussed and they agreed to do so.
And boat ramp, I don't know if anybody's been in there, but I wouldn't let my dog in there. And the one at Midpoint is as disgusting, so.
We
need
just
to
talked
get-
about that. She just covered all that.
Yeah.
She's gonna talk to them and she's gonna
Okay.
have them put back in place
Thank you.
and make
We're
sure
gonna
that
move
they're
on.
clean.
So anything else that you have in maintenance, John, or?
No, sir, I'm fine,
Wanda?
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews, you were going to talk about your signs? You got signs up? Is that right? You got his signs up?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, go ahead.
Go ahead, no, that's great.
Well, let me just say, Mr. Chairman, that I got some good news, bad news, and the good news. Good news is, as it relates to the park manager's job description, I have all of it, compiled all of it, all based on recommendations. All of that was, as you know, was approved conceptually. And unfortunately, I had a printer problem where I lost one cartridge, and my wife went into town to get that one, and then a second one, and then the computer says it's not connected. The first, so I've got to get Charlie or somebody in to help me figure that out. Anyway, I was going to print all that off and have it for you tonight. What I would say is I can print that off when I get it fixed, and then I'll submit it to you. And if you would like, you want to send it out to everybody. I have it. It's just putting it together and printing it off. I guess that covers the good news, bad news. And then, of course, some extra good news is that, as you know, Mr. Matthews took the responsibility of putting together these signs that we had approved for pavilions. And I'll let him talk about it, but I will tell you this, he did an excellent job, and he did it himself, and I'm very proud of him. Anyway, if I may, I'll defer to him.
Mr. Matthews, you're in the spotlight there.
Every building in both Quincy and Swanee County has a sign and a number. And so, whoever does the reservations, we use that, especially in Wood Park, because there's 6 buildings here. And this gives identification to each building. And the building, the sign should last.
Very good. So we're still working on the 2 for the artwork, trying to get that artwork for the 2 at the, what is that road,
Entrances.
Roberts Road entrance on the eastern side. So, and we were trying to get some dirt there so we could actually build up those areas. They're depressed on each side, so we were going to build those up. But the guys ran out of time, but we're hauling rock the other day, so we're going to get that prepped so we can get some signs up. Okay, is anything else there from your report? Now, you did jump ahead on your report, but that's okay. That's done.
All right.
So-
I thought that's a park committee report.
So we'll move on now to the communications report. Vonda?
Yes, excuse me.
All right, I thought you were, I misspoke.
You felt pressured, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, so, our count as of right now for our members on the Columbia side, we have 713. Swanee side,
Listening? Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, are you listening?
I can't
John.
hear her all the time.
okay, 713 on the Swanee side.
No.
Or Columbia, and Swanee, it's 247. So we now have a total of 960. 960.
960. We lost some?
No. We're creeping along right here at
So
the
now
end.
this is November, we've got 2 months left, we still got people getting properties, so they still would be tallying this year, but they
No.
would get a tremendous break. They would
Yeah.
actually be grandfathered in on
The
this.
$25. Depends. Yeah. Because we've got some properties that keep flip-flopping. We called on one today because we didn't get a membership form, but we got the estoppel check. But it's already in process to sell again, so.
Okay.
So if you people get these letters in the mail, people want to buy your property for like really cheap, don't sell it to them. Put it for sale in our local area for people around here. Because what they're doing is they're buying them, they're mowing them down. Yeah, and they're clear. Those are some of the ones that are totally clearing them off. So,
Vicki, you had a question?
No, I'm just gonna say, Joan asked a question about the members. Last month on the October minutes, we had 949 members. So we're up to 960.
Very good.
That's what I was just looking at.
So we'll probably have a few more creep in because, like I said, there's constantly turnover. The other thing is we're kind of full forward. So you've got the electronic one. So you can go onto our website and you can click on the little green button and you can pay your dues for this upcoming year for 22. It's very simple. I know some of you guys have already done it. We've also received, we started putting them in today for 2022. We've got, Terry had quite a stack of ones that have already been mailed in. And then people are, the keys. So the keys will be going out as soon as we get those all ready to go. One thing I did want to bring up.
Let me point out the keys, there's usually a date in January, is that right, that you have set?
January 22nd. 22nd.
Since we have a lot of people probably listening in, let's get that date right, but is it?
It's January 22nd.
22nd, okay. So that's when is that when the logs get changed? Okay.
And
So
we're
the
also
logs-
going to have a community potluck, so it should be a good day.
And then again in February, right?
And again in February, we have another date. And we're
What
also,
is the dates for January
22nd.
and in February?
February,
18th, wasn't it?
I'm going to verify that. February the 19th.
19th?
19th.
Thank you.
And those will be the date a lot changes on January 22nd, that'll be pickup day.
Pickup
For
day.
any keys that.
But anyone that's requested them prior, we're going to go ahead and get those out, so they don't have to wait if they don't want to.
Okay, the keys have been ordered for probably about 6 weeks or so, so I'm not sure, they said that we need to get them in early because they're run on brass, so.
Aluminum, yeah, a lot of
That's
things.
all short.
It's in California.
Somewhere in the ocean.
No brand.
So there was a lot of controversy over this since we took back over the keys. There were like 240 some odd keys missing, and we discovered where those went. So when the turnover happened from last year, so just like we're doing now, we're processing for the next year coming. So by the time Mike Ferre handed over the membership to Bethany, he had processed roughly 120 members. So if you've got 120 members, when he processed, he sent them keys. So, and that's 2 keys. So if you've got 120 people and you sent them 2 keys, you've got 240 keys.
Right.
And then they were duplicated keys. So 120 members received a second set of keys.
How many 36 though, is what you told me?
Yeah, we're
Well,
not gonna have, we're not gonna have
I'm not going
discussion.
down to
Yeah, we're just gonna
little,
lay out
I'm
the
just,
rules.
I'm rounding it
We're
off.
gonna come through here.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But, so, not only did Mike Ferre give them keys, but then Bethany sent them 2 more keys.
It's okay, so should solve the mystery then on the
So-
balance of the keys. Correct?
Then we really, with 960 members, we should have given out 1,920 keys. Everybody gets 2 keys.
True, but when we took over, a lot of them, we kept getting keys back in the mail that were never delivered, and then those people already had keys, so we would they'd have to re-rub keys and stamp keys. So a lot of people never got their keys.
So going forward, what I'd like to do is, I'd like to ask that we just leave that behind, we understand what it is, we're gonna go forward, and, you are currently set up to start printing the keys.
Correct.
Printing the keys as we get these orders in. I wanted to ask you how, this electronic process is working for you, for y'all that are getting this on the computer. How is that actually working for, I mean, is it the work easier or?
It's pretty quick, because I know Phil Ray did hers, and as soon as she did it, Vicky got the email just almost instantaneously.
Okay, from the research part of that, how difficult is that, just researching and verifying?
Well, these people also have to have already been verified, like when you,
Okay.
they're already members. Now, I've been kind of strict on these estoppels we're getting, and I have made some people mad that when you sell your property, you lose your ability to be, you're no longer qualified to be a member of Three Rivers Estates. So I have been requesting that those people have to turn their keys over. It's not fair for them to keep their keys and not live in our area. And then these other people have more keys out, and we got people that shouldn't be having access. So I've made a lot of people mad, but I think, and like today, I was just up, I had a call about, we need a recorded deed, not just one stamped by the,
I also know that it says in our bylaws that we are to publish the membership and so that everyone knows that so-and-so is a member of the property owner. Property is registered at the town hall. Correct?
right, and we verify all of them.
All right. And are you staying with the key belonging to the property? The
key-
number?
Yeah, that, we're trying to do that. We're trying to make it so whoever purchased it, I'm having them, I'm putting a note on the estoppel saying that there are 2 keys, that these 2 keys must be turned over at the time of closing, or that new member is going to pay an additional $100. So people they're turning the keys
And it's
over, so we
working.
don't have extra keys floating.
It's
I've got a
actually
bunch
working
of
well.
old keys, if that is something that are returning
No,
value.
they
You know
won't
what?
work.
No, but you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a coffee can or something to put them in, and because people are getting their keys mixed up, and that way, maybe with enough weight, it's gonna take a lot of weight, but one day we can recycle them in.
Well, what I'm
No.
saying
No, we
is,
can't
can they
reuse
be melted
them.
down so that
No.
we can,
We couldn't, but I think you can take them to the recycle place.
Yeah, it's not worth the effort. It costs more for the fuel to get there, especially now.
I'll have a coffee can if you wanna drop your key in it.
Okay, so, do you have anything else to add, on with the communication group?
Hang on. Is there anything else? That was the keys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that needed to go out. You think of anything, Terry? I guess that's it. Anything else we'll put online as things go. But there's 2 questions.
Okay, yes. Yes, sir.
Regarding the locks, isn't there an option, or have you looked into some sort of an electronic process or locks where we don't have to actually have physical keys, but code locks?
It's cheaper to replace locks with the electronic device.
Really?
I think so.
Replace all the keys?
No, the locks.
But the locks
Yeah,
are-
we have issues. This is gonna be pretty sound, pretty hardy to survive down here.
and the moisture is horrible.
So, yes, yes.
I just wanted to speak back about the keys. There's 339 keys that were missing, and Miss Nano has a receipt from Mr. Keaton for 2,056 keys, actually, is how many we purchased originally. And then since then, we've purchased right around, well, you guys know, how many more keys. So my question is, you're really trying to tell me that over 500 keys got lost in the mail and sent back, and that you guys, I don't understand what you mean by that. How you?
Yeah, we're not even gonna.
I'm
go
not
into
going
that.
there because y'all handed us a mess. We did it.
We're gonna-
We've given
we're
a
not
lot
gonna-
of members
I understand.
keys. And because I'm not going to tell a member they got a key when I don't know that they got a key. So it's kind of been a graceful time so that everybody has access that has paid.
I think we're doing fine. Let's move on with that
Continue on.
discussion. And yes, ma'am.
2 things. Number 1, I got an extra set of keys. I got an extra set of keys. I confess. Okay, number 2, it's like on that procedure, what about, and thought about since they're all numbered, the people with keys, would you please try to come between 9 and 9:30, and you have this number, try to come at this time?
It's not going to be like last year. We're going to have the keys ahead of time at a separate area, and then we'll have 2 lines going for the other people. If you're just coming to pick up, it's going to be. I know Bethany meant well. I know, and I know she meant well.
No, please,
She,
let's
she
hold
was
it down, Jeff.
she was trying to clean up and make sure everybody's information is updated. So I understand what she was doing, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna have 2 computers, and we've already discussed this today, so we could be looking up to verify, because if we think someone sold their property and they're still trying to get, there's gonna be times like that we're gonna be looking it up, but we're gonna make sure And don't get aggravated if we ask you to fill out a membership form, even if you've been a member forever, because just to verify the phone number, the email address, and the mailing address is correct.
If you can kind of divide it up a little bit. so
It will
everybody
be.
doesn't hit at
It-
one time.
it's not going
We all
to.
wanna come between 10 and 12.
Yeah.
Just like people-
Everybody wants to be here when it opens.
Okay, so we're gonna anticipate the storm, is that right?
We'll be ready.
All right,
And it happens every year.
all right. Anything else there, Vonda?
I think that's all. Anything else we'll put out there?
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. So we'll move now to, Park Committee report, Tom Trammell.
You want me to get back through that, do you, Mr.
No. So, did you have anything else you wanted to add? to
No,
that?
sir, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Charlie Thompson's not here. I don't know if y'all had anything to report, on the cameras as it relates, because I know that we've
They're
got
all,
progression.
the ones that he has are in place. We've got the ones up and running over at, on the Swanee side at the boat ramp. All the ones here are in place. But I don't think so. He was gonna ask for signs to put up too, but I'll let him ask next month, because he's got
Okay.
all the details on that.
And I think the plans are to move next to
Midpoint.
Point and boat ramp. And then I think that we're looking at also fishing park.
Yes. Well, we're gonna hit these three first and then,
Okay. Yeah, Vicki.
The board had approved up to 10,000, and he's, between 9 and 10 now. So there's plans for future cameras before the next meeting.
I don't
I
think so.
don't
we
think
have it in the
I
budget.
think we tabled
we,
it.
yeah, we,
Yeah.
Okay.
and we're gonna wait till after the first of the year.
And we dumped
So it'll be in the budget. We're gonna, she'll put it in the budget.
Good.
And then
That's
start the
what we're
budget.
talking. But the cameras are doing an awesome job.
Yeah.
We're
Great.
seeing a lot.
Good, good. Yes.
If I purchase my key in February, then I'm gonna be locked out of the park until the central key giveaway or until my key gets sent to me, is that right? Why don't
What's
we
the
change
question?
locks at the end of February when everybody had their chance to pick up their key on the second key giveaway day? Why would we change them in January when the people haven't had a chance to come and pick up their keys?
Because you can't get an exchange if you do that. The locks change, you get your new key, you exchange the new key for the old key, you're in the park. If you choose to wait.
And if you can't make it that day, I'm sure we're not gonna make you wait till, I mean, we'll work with
I will tell you
anybody.
this much, these girls have accommodated so many people from out of town that have called and made arrangements to get
All
their
of
keys.
us.
I was just thinking that if we
Absolutely.
could wait till February to change the locks,
No.
then that would be better to let the people pick up the keys that last day before we change the locks.
I don't believe that's the plan of the board, so yes, Bill.
Mr. Chairman, as long as I live here, we've always came and get period. Period.
Okay, so we'll end that discussion, okay? All right. We had, Carol, I guess you did the budget discussion too, a little early there. So we got that done, so that'll be out to the members. So we'll move on to new business. Is there any new business? Great. So is there any old business we need to discuss? Great. So, we'll now open it up to property owners' comments. And Jerry, I think you had a couple announcements that you wanted to make.
Well, there's just, two, there's one, I don't know if you're all familiar with, there's a seed saving program in the county, and the money goes to help the library and provide seeds for people. If you have a library card, you go to Fort White Library, any of them, you can get up to 5 packets of seeds a month, and usually there's 30 to 50 seeds in the various types that they have. And this Saturday, they're having a plant sale behind Fort White Library. It's going to be reasonable plants, vegetables, flowers, some small trees, right behind Fort White Library.
And they're very affordable. I bought a lot last year.
Yeah, and then it's all good stuff. We'll be setting it up Friday. And then there's like a community sale at the United Methodist Church in downtown Fort White. And this is the second Saturday they're trying to do it, and I think they're getting lowering the prices. It's a yard sale. At least hopefully.
So the prices are gonna come down, you pretty sure?
Theoretically. Theoretically. Don't hold me to it. I'm not I'm just a messenger.
So are there any instructions on those seeds on?
Yes, they'll tell you what to plant them, how to plant them. And if they don't, domestic garden program, Columbia County will. Oh, then one question. In the beginning of the meeting, when you're excusing members, the board members, alternates, do they get excused or not excused? Or if they're not here, how do you know if they're excused or not excused? Because you went over the one alternate that was
Because
not.
they didn't call in.
Oh, so you don't order anything mentioned,
We
just.
just had two that were excused, and the others are not excused.
He's talking about Lisa Kirby.
Right, she didn't call in.
So if they don't call, then it's not excused.
When is that, what time is that start?
That's why I asked.
The church, I'm not sure of, but I think it's 9 to 3 at the church, and the Seed Savers is usually 8:30, 9 to 12, right behind the library.
That's Friday.
No, Saturday.
Saturday.
13.
They have good
Both
plans.
of the
Can I
Saturday.
make
Yeah, they
a
will.
suggestion
Just
that
a moment,
we
he's
add
talking.
to the
And if you want a
newsletter?
loquat tree, I have them, they could be about this big. Yeah, and they should take off nice. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. There's a question about the newsletter. about
Yes, I'm
possibly-
asking that Gary
Jerry.
make Terry, I'm sorry,
I answered all, I've been
not you, that maybe you could make a little blurb for our newsletter so that they would know that this is available at the library and that the library is very interested in getting the community to grow and to plant trees, et cetera, et cetera.
Because there is a lot happening agricultural-wise at Columbia County.
Exactly.
They're gonna try and, like the boat ramp by Santa Fe River on 27, they're gonna try and plant, native plants there, and that's from the lady in Washington DC who's with Mr. Olsky and Trini at the elementary school, middle school, to do that. And one person from Fort, for the first time in history, 2 kids from Fort White were nominated for the STAR program, FFA National. And they did not
Yes.
finish first, but which was awesome. The kids were there, I even attempted. But he's great, and there was a young girl from Fort White too, and Fort White did very, very good.
So let me ask you about the library. Is this a year-round, you have a
Yes,
something set
they have
up?
a sale twice, and the Master Gardeners usually have a sale twice, but that one will be up to the extension.
Okay,
Yeah, the seed bank is year-round every Wednesday.
okay. So, do we have anyone else that wants to address the board? All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
I'm
Mayor.
going to bring something up, but,
Okay.
the fishing park today, we had pruning some trees that, normally carry a rope swing. And remember, this rope swing was an issue that we had. It's not helpful.
It's the famous person.
So they pruned the trees enough that there's no place to
You think? Okay, good job. All right, they didn't destroy the tree, though, did they? The tree's still
fly.
there?
The tree's still
Okay.
livable.
All right. So, anyone else has anything they want to address the board? Okay, with that being said, our next meeting is December 7th. Board members look over the budget items, information, and so we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Mr. Trammell and second by Tony Matthews. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.
Sleep.
After midnight.
Whoa,
Y'all have a good evening.
Take care, guys.
Alrighty.
She's like, what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, online.
The good thing is
Sorry about that. I just forgot. It's not. Love you too.